Sorry
Okay.
about that.
No worries.
Yeah, because I work in
So,
a remote. I work in a remote area, so the network is really bad.
okay.
Yeah, that's why.
Okay, so we were on stealth scan, so we have completed the TCP scan and we were discussing about the
Yes.
SYN scan. It is called SYN scan, stealth scan, and half open scan. So it has many
Yep.
names, and let's see how to perform stealth scan. So, so let me close this and then I will do it again. So the command is very simple. Instead of SP, we have to use S, capital S.
Okay.
Yeah, so instead of capital T, we have to use capital S. So S for SYN scan. So,
Okay.
so if you press enter, and it is going to scan.
Yep.
Yeah, so you will get the same result, I guess. Yeah, you should have got like 3 ports open, the same result. Yeah,
Um. Wait a minute. Mine's not like that. Oh yeah, same, same.
yeah, yeah. So the difference is about like, so the technique is different, but the output will be same. And this technique is considered much secure, much safer than the TCP because it does not generate much log. It will generate logs, but not very much. Yeah. So hello.
Yes.
Yeah. So so as I was telling you about stealth scan. So it is considered good because it doesn't generate much log. So because
Yeah.
if you are scanning, the logs are going to be generated, but comparing to the TCP scan, it is not going to generate that much.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So let's see the background process. So when any port is open, so what it's going to do, it's going to send you the first SYN flag to the machine, to the target.
Mm-hmm.
Target will send the SYN plus ACK, and instead of sending the acknowledgement flag, it is going to send the reset flag. So that will resets the whole connection. So
Oh yeah.
this scan is not completing the three-way handshake. So it
Mm,
is not completing the three-way handshake, and which is why it is considered much safer, because if you look at the here, we were completing the a whole three-way handshake and then we were resetting the connection. But
resetting.
here,
Yeah.
but before, here we are not sending acknowledgement. So we are not sending acknowledgement, we are not computing the handshake, and we are just
Mm-hmm.
sending the reset flag to reset the whole communication. So this
Mm,
way, not much logs will be generated, and it is,
okay.
so that is why it is considered some. So that is why it is considered. It is called stealth. So some like secure scanning.
Okay.
So
Stealth.
if the port is open, we are going to do
Mm-hmm.
this. It is going to do this, and when the port is open, it will simply receive the reset. So when the system sends in a machine, the target machine will send a reset. So it means
Okay.
that no port is open. So
Wow.
that is stealth scan, and let us talk about the Xmas scan. So this scan is now discontinued, so it is not being used right now, but in CH exam, you might get a question if
Okay.
you are planning to do. Yeah, so
Oh yeah,
people
yeah, I'm planning
still,
to do it, bro.
yes, yeah, so people are still getting one question from Xmas about Xmas scan. So it
Okay.
is like good to know about it. So although it
No
is
worries.
discontinued,
Thank
but
you.
it's good to know. Yeah, so
Okay.
let us see the Xmas Scan. So
Okay.
as usual, the command is simple. Instead of capital S, we are using capital X. So for Xmas Scan.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So your output might be a little different like this. So it with open, it might also show you like the port is filtered
Yeah.
because it's behind firewall. It might be behind firewall. That is why it is showing filtered. Or I
Okay.
don't think it's behind firewall. So the scanning is inverse TCP flag scan. So it might be behind firewall. So that is why it is also showing filtered. So whenever you see a
Filtered.
state like filtered means it's behind a firewall, but it is showing
Oh,
with open. So I don't think it's accurate. It is scanning accurate, and it is also not like working. Like it's not. It's discontinued. So I don't think the output is like very good. But
yeah.
yeah, you should know this
Just know it.
how to
Okay.
perform this. Yeah, because I don't
Okay.
think this machine is behind firewall because it's vulnerable machine, but it is showing us something like that. So
Okay. No worries.
yeah, so that
So
output of
Eddie, when you said
Xmas Scan.
I should know about it,
Yeah,
so they will ask me what are the command? Is
yeah.
it?
They are going to tell you. They are going to ask you something like, "What
Yep.
is Xmas Scan?" or like,
Oh,
"What is
okay.
the command of Xmas Scan?" or
Yep.
which what is inverse TCP scan? So Xmas Scan is also called inverse TCP scan. So something
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I got you. Thank you.
And in Xmas Scan, what we do is it will send the probe packet. So instead of sending instead of sending a SYN flag, it is going
Yeah.
to send the finish urgent push or null flag. And if no
Mm,
response is received, then port is open.
it's
And
close.
if it's a reset is received, reset or acknowledgement, then port is closed. So this is how it. So
Oh, yeah.
it doesn't send the SYN. It will send all the other flags, remaining flags. Yeah.
Okay.
So now we see the acknowledgement flag probe scan. So it is going to tell if any stateful firewall is present or not. So
Oh, yeah.
if there will be firewall, so first it is going to send the acknowledgement, and if there is
Mm-hmm.
firewall present, then we won't get any response. And if
Yeah.
there is no firewall, then we will get the reset. So
Oh, yeah.
let us see
Try.
if
Okay.
this if
So,
so if it gives us like this that firewall is present, which means
yep.
then this scan is correct. If it shows that there is no firewall, then it means it is output is false. So let us see
Okay.
whether it's true. So the command is simple. Instead of capital X, you need to use capital A.
Yep.
Okay, all 1,000 scanned ports are unfiltered. So unfiltered means there is no firewall. So that output is not accurate. I don't know why it is showing open with filtered. So as you
Man,
can
my
see, it is showing unfiltered.
unfiltered, unfiltered.
So
Oh, the
did you?
filtered ones?
Yeah. I was talking about the Xmas scan.
Yeah. Mine is yeah, I got one out filtered
One
because it's
filtered.
only one. Yeah, it's only one anyway because I'm doing on my desktop.
Okay. So it
Yeah,
means
so it's only one.
your desktop has a firewall. So like your desktop might have a Windows Defender firewall, so which is inbuilt in
Yes.
Windows, which comes like pre-installed in the Windows. So that is why it is
Okay.
showing filtered. So
Filtered.
fil-
Okay.
if it shows filtered means firewall, and unfiltered means no firewall.
Oh, okay, yeah, I got.
And the open means port is open and closed means port is closed. So there are four states. So when you got this is the state. So there are four states: filtered,
Okay.
unfiltered, open, and closed. So
Okay.
yeah, and that was the acknowledgement. And let us see now a UDP scanning. So what Nmap does is whenever we scan anything like SA, SX, stealth scan, TCP scan, and by default Nmap is only going to scan TCP protocol. It is not going to scan UDP. So
Okay.
if by default Nmap scan 1000 ports, then it is only going to scan all the TCP ports. It is not
This.
going to scan
Okay.
UDP. So if in order to find open ports in UDP protocol, we have to use this. So instead of A, we have to use U, capital U. So
Okay.
yeah,
Let me try
Nmap
that.
SU, and it will show us only the UDP ports. So how many UDP ports are open? So UDP scan might take a long time because I don't know why it
Yeah.
takes quite a long time to scan.
Yeah, might
So
take some. Yeah, it's still waiting.
yeah, so until it is scanned, let me do one thing. Let me use. I will tell you what is this in a
Okay.
moment. So yeah,
Okay. No worry.
let me see if this is fast in the scan. Oh, finish warning. Okay, so yeah, we got. So it was scanning all the 65,000 ports. That is why it was taking some time.
Oh yeah.
I got the result. Did you got?
Wow, that's a lot. Yeah.
So it
Issue.
will show us open and closed
Yep.
port both. As you can see, these ports are closed, and some of them are open.
Mm,
So
yep. No shown 99 open filtered ports. So I have no shown
yes,
999.
which
Then it
means
said
you don't
open
have any.
filtered ports.
Which means you don't have any UDP port open inside your system.
Okay.
Yeah, that is why it is showing. So
Okay.
as you can see, these four ports are open, and all other ports are closed.
Okay.
Yep. So this is how we do the UDP scan. So this is 53 is UDP port. This is UDP port 137 at BIOS main server, and
Oh
all these
yeah.
are yeah UDP ports. So this is how we do UDP scan. And okay, so now these are the some major scan, and now let us talk about how to customize these scan and what are other things. So
Okay.
if by as I told you, by default Nmap will only gonna scan
This is
1000 ports, only TCP
yes.
and 1000. So TCP and 1000, so it's going to do those. So it is going to scan only TCP ports, and it's going to scan the first 1000. But we have
Yep.
65,535 ports, and I want all the ports. So what I'm
Yep.
going to do, we have to give it manually. So like this. So small p is for port, and 1 2 like this.
Oh, 65535. Wow.
So if I do this, it is going to scan all those 65,000 ports. So let me open side by side and let me show you the difference.
Okay.
So as you can see here,
Yep.
uh, when we did the normal stealth scan, so it was
Yep.
showing us 23 open ports.
That is.
Yeah,
Yep.
23 ports were open, but when I scan with using this, when I specify that I want all the 65,535 ports, it is showing me this much port, so which is 30. So how do I know it's 30? It's because it is showing us 65,505. So
Yeah. So you deduct it.
out of 65,535, 65,505 are closed and 30 ports are open. So these are 30 ports.
Okay.
And here we were getting out of 1,977 were closed, so 23 were open.
Yeah.
So by using this, we got 7 more open ports. So you never know,
Wow.
we might find vulnerability in those 7 ports. So
Yeah.
whenever we try to scan something, we should scan all the ports, all the 65,000 ports. Scanning 1,000 ports might we want like all the ports, because you never know in which port we found vulnerability.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the method of finding all the open ports. So instead of doing this, if you want to know about any specific port, so I don't want to do scan all the 65,000 ports. I want only port 80. I want to see if port 80 is open. So the command is simple. We just going to do. So don't do this. We are going to do
Okay.
P80. So I want to see if port 80 is open or not.
Okay.
I don't want to know about any other. So it is showing me that port 80 is open. So
Oh
we
wow.
can and we can even assign like with comma. So I want 80, I want 443, I want 445. Yeah, and I want 500. So let us see if these ports are open. So as you can see, 80 is open, 443 is closed, 445 is open, and 500 is closed. So in
Yep.
this way, you can either search the specific port, you can search multiple ports with comma, or we can give the whole, like all the 65,000 ports like this. So we can scan like that. And let me tell you one more thing. So we use T5. So you saw me using this when I was scanning UDP. So what is this? It is used for is increasing the scanning speed. So by default, the scanning speed is T3, and
Yeah.
it is from T0 to T5. So T0 is super slow. So if you set it to T0, it will be scan super slow, and if we set T5, it is going to scan super fast, like insane.
Ah.
So and by
Okay.
default value is T3. So if you want to scan anything faster, we can assign T5 hyphen T5. So yeah, any number between T0 to T5.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was the scanning, and yeah, let me tell you some more about the scanning. So So here, whenever we were scanning anything, so whenever we were doing the stealth SYN scan, whenever we were doing the TCP scan or Xmas scan or
Yeah.
UDP scan, so we were getting port number, state and services. But if you remember, our goal is to identify live host. We have identified, so it is done. Identify IP address, it is done. Open ports, it is done.
Yep.
Discover operating system, so it's not done right now. And discover services running on hosts, so it is also not done. So how we are able to find services? So we know that wait a second. So we know that FTP service is running on port 21, but what version this FTP is using, we don't know. So we
Yes.
if we want to find vulnerability, we need to find the version of that, of all the services, if you want to find the vulnerability. So how we are going to do
Okay.
that? We are going to use the version scan, which is capital V. So if I do this, okay, let me combine this. Okay, this is the version scan, hyphen small s capital V. Yeah, so as you can see, previously we were only getting this FTP, and now we are also getting FTP. And what is the version? So version 2.3.4 and all the versions.
Oh yeah.
So now we can, using these versions, we can find the vulnerability. So we can just search it on Google, that if this version is the latest version or if this version is the old version. If it is old version, then there might be some vulnerability. So
Oh, okay.
let me, if I copy this and open Google and search if there is any exploit available for this version.
Exploit. Okay.
So as you can see, it is showing us the VSF TPD has backdoor command execution. So we can, so it is exploitable. So this is vulnerable. So using this vulnerability of this version, we can exploit this machine.
Wow.
So that is the advantage of finding the, you can see this is the vulnerability, and it is showing us this vulnerability was found out in 2011. So as you can see the description and the author. So, and this is the command. So it is also showing us the command. So using these commands, we can execute that, we can exploit this vulnerability.
Wow.
This is why we find versions. So versions are very important, and based on all these versions, so we can search this, we can search this, we can search everything. So what is the version? So as we can see, so we have found the live host, IP address, open ports, and we have found the services running on host.
Yeah.
And using the services, we also discover one vulnerability. So by searching,
Yes.
so now only thing is left is finding out the operating system. So let us see how to find the operating system. So to find the operating system, the command is hyphen capital O.
Okay. Don't. Hello. Damn.
Yeah, wait a second.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah. So yep. So yeah, I was doing the OS scan. So the command is -O, and if I press the enter, so we don't need to use this, so don't get confused. So
Alright.
just do this, and if I press enter, it is going to show me the operating systems of of this machine. So as you can see, so if you do the nmap and the IP address without any option, it is still going to do the default scan. So nmap has some
Okay.
default scanning technique. So whether you give any instruction or not, any
Okay.
option or not, it is going to do the default scan. So after this default scan, we do the -O. So it is going to show us the device type general purpose and running in Linux 2.6. So as you can see,
Yeah.
so it is running the Linux operating system.
Yeah.
So this is how we identify. So you can also do that if you type this. It
Yeah, I'll
will
try.
show you.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're having some trouble doing that.
Yeah, I lost something here. I lost the IP number that I'm using.
Okay, it's just.
I tried to do copy and paste. I lost it.
So whenever you are doing scanning inside a network, so the three things will be same. You just have to
Okay.
change the last. You just have to change the last octet.
Yeah, because I clear my terminal before. That's why.
Okay.
Let me see. Map. That's O. Yes. No. Map. Okay, let me see what I got. S detection perform, please. Oh. It's ready.
So yeah, did you get the output?
Yeah, but it says, mine says Map scan report for Kali.
Yeah.
So it shows the IP number or the IP
Yeah.
address, and it says too many fingerprint match this host to give specific OS details. Network distance 0 hops.
So it is not displaying the operating system.
Yes, it said too much fingerprint.
Yeah.
Too many
So
fingerprint.
so it does not be able to identify. So for
Oh,
that,
okay.
there is
Yeah.
okay. So let me tell you how you can do that. So apart from these scanning techniques,
Okay.
there is a scripting engine called Nmap scripting engine. So
Uh-huh.
Nmap.
Okay.
So this is
Scripting
what it's
engine.
called. So
Okay.
it's inside your system. So if I use the command locate .nsc,
Nice.
so it is going to show me all the so let's navigate to the location. So it is in user
Okay.
share. So the location is user share and nmap and scripts. So this is the location. You need to do this, and if I
Okay.
press enter, I am inside this directory, and if I do ls, I am going to see all the scripts which I can use. So these are for advanced scan. So there are like
Oh
500
wow.
scripts. So if we are doing any advanced, we can even like scan a website, databases, and like a lot of things using these scripts. So WordPress
Okay.
website or any HTTP website. So let me see there is some OS Discover. Uh, where- for OS Discovery. See, I check. Oh, mm-mm. So yeah, so as you can see, this is a script called assembly OS discovery, assembly OS discovery. Or let me check this if this works.